So real quick today I want to talk to you guys about the difference between mixing your song and mastering your song. What's going on? It's Pimp Fried Rice. Welcome to the Music into Millions podcast, where we help artists get the tools and resources they need so that way they can be successful without needing to wait on a record label. And so I'm sure you've heard these terms plenty of times before. Did you mix your song? Did you master your song? Is it mixed well? Does it sound up to volume? All these different things applying to mix and mastering. But a lot of times artists get the two confused because they think it's the same thing or they think one is the other thing, but that's not the case at all. So essentially mixing your song is you're making everything in the song itself sound good. So you're making sure that all the vocals are the right volumes, you're making sure that the beat is the proper volume, you're making sure that everything cuts when it needs to, you make sure everything fades in as it's supposed to, all the effects are in place, the EQs, the reverbs, the delays, auto-tune, all these different things are all a part of the mix. Because the mix purpose essentially is to make the song sound good as one singular song. The master is actually what typically is used for one, if you have an album, it makes everything kind of flow in a consistent basis. It makes all the transitions happen how you want them. Like say you want a fade out from one song and then the next song to cut right in. That would be done in the mastering stage, because basically you're just putting together the flow of the whole project. Also, mastering refers to when you're bringing a song up to volume to be on par with other songs. So basically, you don't want your song, and I've had this happen to me before, so I get the frustration of it, where you upload your song to like Apple Music or Spotify or Tidal, and you're listening to it in a playlist, and every song's like loud, 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 and then your song comes on, and you're trying to crank your volume up, and it's like, what the heck, why is this song so quiet compared to all the other songs? It doesn't make any sense, and that is because you haven't mastered your song most likely, or you just mastered your song too quiet. And so mastering is essentially, it not only does it add warmth and thickness to your track, which if you don't know what those things are, don't worry about it. Your engineer hopefully should, and I kind of will go briefly into detail about that. But yeah, mastering essentially is to bring your song up to volume with other songs, to bring it to the industry standard. So like I said, the mix makes sure that the song itself sounds good as a whole, but the master makes sure that it sounds good compared to, everything else in the world, volume-wise, and then like I said, it brings the warmth and the thickness in there, and it really makes it sound bigger than life, because what mastering is doing is essentially making everything, bring it up as big as it can. So you're making the song wider, you're making the song more dynamic, you're making everything just come across crispier, punchier, and if you don't know how to mix your stuff, there's a lot of great information on YouTube. There's books out there. I've talked about it in the 5 Great Books for Rappers, which is the Home Recording Studio. I forget who specifically wrote it, but that is a great resource that teaches you all about mixing. There's also Pro Tools handbooks, all types of other things if you're a big reader. If you're more of a video person, check out channels like, I learned how to mix personally from like Justin Amoe on YouTube. I've learned from Busy Work Beats. I've learned from a lot of different places that have just taught me different things. Pensado's Place, a lot of great YouTube channels that teach you about mixing. Mastering, I haven't done as much research into, because there's actually a company called Lander, lander.com, but basically what they do is they master your track for you. So you would upload your track to it, and it's either like $9 a month, or you can get like an upgraded package, which is like $12 to $20 a month. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it's not terribly expensive. And what you do is you upload your track there, and then it gives you a couple different options on how to master it. Like you could do a warm master, you could do a very punchy master, you can make it very wide, and then what they do is they show you what it sounds like versus the old one. So you don't have to rely on an engineer to do it. You can get all your songs mastered and brought up to par by yourself. Now, I personally recommend doing this, especially if you're the type of person who mixes your own music, or if you're the type of person who just is very independent and doesn't want to have to outsource anything to other people, because if you're getting people to pay, or if you're paying people to do your masters, it can get fairly expensive depending where you're going or who you're going to. So by signing up for Lander, you can actually save yourself some money, and everything would be consistent because it's all being mastered in the same place. So it's all going to have the same quality, same volume, same everything like that. But that essentially is the two differences between mixing and mastering. You want to do both to every track, because obviously you want the mix to sound great, you want all the effects to be in order, but you also want it to be loud, and you want it to sound like other songs nowadays in volume and just like the size of the song itself. So make sure you got your mixes good, make sure you got your masters good. If you don't have anyone to master for you, make sure you check out lander.com. That's pretty much it. If you liked this episode, make sure you leave a comment and a like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.
Rice